All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hawashai, Ba'ashem Kodash, the belongings to the elders and apostles of Breaking Stone. Shalom to the elect wishing this word in truth and in sincerity, with the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hawashai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahawashi is the name of His only begotten Son. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent goose is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahawashi, whom dwelling not called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I want to go straight into this lesson concerning what's about to take place. But before I dive into that, just a quick look on what's transpiring around the world from the attempted assassination of the leader of the free world, as they will call him, DJ Trump. The various activities taking place over there in the Middle East, what's going on between Ukraine and Russia, what's transpiring between Taiwan and China, and the various conflicts around the world. And lots of people look on these things and they're not realizing what's really taking place, not understanding that these things go back to prophecies, because prophecies are unfolding before our eyes. At times you don't know where you want to do a video on, because you will see something like now, and by the time you go out in the living room and come back, you see something else. And that's why the elder apostles are. He always say, you cannot miss out. You miss a day, you miss one leap, because truthfully, we have a lot of things going on in our day-to-day lives, which are all distractions, No matter how hard it be, no matter what you're going through, truthfully and in fact, they are all distractions from what really matters. Because we're coming into a time in which society is going to collapse. Who are you going to depend on when society collapses? The government, your friends, your family? We know who we are going to depend on, The last video I did, it was titled Trust in the Lord. Trust in Yahweh. That's the mindset we're going to need to endure in these times. So I'm going to bring forth a precept, and I'm going to play a clip so you get a better understanding of what I'm really going into. So this is Psalm 64 verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O God. In my prayer preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, evil bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him, and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? And that is the mindset of Esau. Edom is a cunning hunter, So you have a lot of things they do behind the scenes for affect your perception of reality. Because right now, truthfully, in fact, you have a lot of zombies walking among us. And if you want to really find out that some people are monkeys, zombies, just ask them certain questions what are going on in the world. I'm not saying to ask them nothing deep, I'm not telling you to ask them for break down certain scriptures. Just ask them what's going on around the world. Them cannot tell you. But ask them what trend right now. What go viral on TikTok. You know? Because these are the things that keep them entertained. Them don't have a clue what's about to take place upon the earth, yo. Yahweh Shemiyosha is about to bring this fear upon the earth, informs people of no idea of, yo. We're coming into some scary times. But check the inhabitants of the earth right now. They're not in fear. They're not in panic. Right now, supply chains have been affected dramatically due to the various wars. You know, from the world pandemic 2020, society have not come back. Then you have the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, which them call them the breadbasket of Europe. Now the tension, or let me not say tension, because it passed tension already. The conflict between Israel, US and Iran have escalated, in which a major region of export, you know, where goods travel through, had been, restricted. Let me use that word. So you know, so gas prices are gonna rise, oil prices, the price of food, you know, goods and services. But just look on. Hey man, let me zoom in on you out here in Jamaica. You're unaware of the severity of this situation, you know, and it's going to get worse. So let's read verse 6. They search out iniquity, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So let's play this clip.
They don't know, they didn't test, they don't seem to care, and that leaves open the window. What I get concerned about is it leaves open a window to make you take another one in 4 to 6 months.
It's the strangest thing to keep taking shots every 6 months, but yet be more and more prone to having the illness the shots are supposed to prevent.
The Justice Department has decided that domestic terrorism is a thing, and that people who advocate overthrow of the government are terrorists. That's terrifying. This is all Big Brother stuff. There's no such thing as domestic terrorists. What do we do about that?
Isn't it something, right, just in the United States of America? I mean, our founding document is the Declaration of Independence. It's the most beautiful document ever because it says, the opening doesn't even make an argument. It just says it's self-evident that there's a God and that he wants us to be free, which I love. I love not even pretending that needs to be argued. We take it as self-evident that God wants us to be free. And governments, they're just this institution that man creates to protect our freedom. And if they're not protecting our freedom, or if they're tyrannical, then we have the right and the duty to overthrow that government and replace it with a new one. So the idea that the government that was created by that document could then ever try to say that, like, the overthrowing your own government is some type of just a moral sin on its face by definition is crazy. That was the whole spirit of the country, was that you overthrow a tyrannical government.
I hear the same thing. I jokingly say when I return home from Washington each week, my wife greets me at the door, not with a hug or a kiss, but why the hell is Anthony Fauci not in jail yet? So people are frustrated, but they have to understand, I don't control the judicial system.
You were not allowed to deviate from the talking points. I mean, I experienced that.
Right.
Like, for real.
No, you're not. And
You had to just nod along and be like, yeah, okay.
I mean, if you think about how ridiculous that is, you know, I had to read Mein Kampf in college, right? We still read Hitler's words to understand
Yeah.
the move towards a final solution, understanding bloodline, all of that. It's written in his own book so you can understand where he got to with this. It's important to understand historically.
I agree.
I don't endorse Hitler.
I don't think so.
By the way,
Good, I'm with you on that, Clayton.
glad we agree on that.
Next week, Australia will take up consideration of their Combating Anti-Semitism, Hate and Extremism bill in Parliament. This is one of the most draconian pieces of legislation to hit the English-speaking world. Like, let's put everything we can into this hate speech bucket, okay? Have they gone completely insane in Australia?
It is clear that Western governments at large are way waging war on their populations and Christianity, and the people need to really gain the courage and speak while they still have the right.
Well, Dan Bongino is back to his day job hosting a podcast.
You're wondering why we're not hearing more about this Epstein case? I can't emphasize to you enough. This Epstein thing is there's more than meets the eye there. I know a lot of people want to make this thing go away. And what the hell are they hiding with Jeffrey Epstein? Why do they want to make this Jeffrey Epstein story go away so bad?
Remember, Dan told all of this, though, to move on from this. Watch.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Seen the whole file. He killed himself. So his first order of business, back now on the podcast circuit, according to him, now that he's back, is going after the independent media, black pillars, as he calls them, grifters, and he's attacking them, not telling us the truth about the Epstein files or what it was like behind the scenes going after the January 6th pipe bomber.
Ron in our chat asks, where are the children?
You know this is a very hard topic. Where are the children? 550,000 unaccompanied, yes, ma'am, they're gone. 550,000 unaccompanied alien children from babies, literally just birth babies to 17 years old, crossed the border, were transported through all the NGOs that you and I just talked about and sent back to the cartel members, and they're all lost. I'm telling you.
How involved would the CIA be in what Kevin just talked about, this bot program, and pushing out these sort of false narratives from these like mega influencers?
Right, there are entire units at the CIA that do this as their 40-hour-a-week jobs. Yeah, they would. This would be a very sophisticated program taking place at the CIA.
Further evidence the United States Constitution is being thrown out. The FBI executed a search warrant on a Washington Post reporter's home. To me, this is devastating for freedom of the press in the United States because, as Glenn Greenwald or any other great journalist would tell you, I mean, they rely on these types of informants. They rely on these types of leakers, providing them with documents to actually be able to tell the story and to hold government accountable. That's the power of the press. So you're going to sort of send a shockwave of fear through newsrooms to prevent them from really doing journalism.
Well, that some cynic might say that would be the feature, not the bug, and others can imagine of how this can be weaponized against people who might be political adversaries or ideological adversaries to the current administration, above and beyond the Washington Post. I mean, that goes without saying.
So what is the threat to democracy? People on both sides, people in power, saying out loud that they want to control what you get to hear and see. It is real, it is a threat, and it is happening and growing. And I'll tell you what, punishing thought is on the agenda. And I just heard it from someone who's not a kook, not Alex Jones, not Tucker Carlson, one of the most sober and intelligent politicians of our time, Hillary Rodham Clinton.
I think it's important to indict the Russians, just as Mueller indicted a lot of Russians who were engaged in direct election interference and boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence.
Well, we now have hard evidence from inside the United States Senate that Hillary Clinton herself helped manufacture the Trump collusion hoax and approved it. And we have the receipts for it as well. This is explosive. This is criminal level deceit that could lead her to her arrest. Wouldn't that be amazing?
I never thought we would see such a smoking gun, but this is literally an email showing that she wanted to use the FBI and weaponize it against her political opponent, and the FBI went along with it under a hoax they thought up.
hiding from you? What is the mainstream narrative they'd like you to believe? Welcome to Redacted with Natalie and Clayton Morris. On this show, we help to break down the propaganda to bring you the truth behind the news. Live from the Rocky Mountains, let's get started. Welcome in, everybody, to the show on this Tuesday. We've got a lot to talk about because the great fertilizer shock is upon us. You may go to the store and see shelves that are fully stocked in the United States, but that's fine because a lot of that food was produced last year or years before that. And now we're getting data that's undeniable about where things are headed. We're going to talk about just how bad this is hitting Asia and, of course, the continued closure of the Strait of Hormuz and this protracted war and what it means for food on our table.
Last will do a follow-up video on this concerning the famine to come. You know, but just to show you the high level of manipulation that's going on now. You know, and they're about to come up against so-called freedom of speech. You know, so you're gonna see a lot more uprising against the authorities. And we here at Great Millstone, we have been saying these things for a while now, yo, but these words have been falling on deaf ears. Only the elect that take heed. So I wanna close it out on this note. I want to say second. No, not that. This came to mind first. Alright, so this is Micah 2 verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. And it is very evident right now. And that's why them can move like how them move. That's why America can go into Venezuela and take out the leader of the country. And who can defend him? That's why America can threaten every country from South America to the Caribbean to the rest of the world, and who come up against them. But them not know, so the Lord have put them in a trick bag. And them pride are going to deceive them, you know. Even them adversaries are going to come up against them. And we're going to watch these things play out. So I just wanted to show you various things that is transpiring around the world at large. So with that, I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, Shalom.